Welcome in. Good afternoon. It's the Ticket Punchers here on 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. I'm your host, Roman Kelly, joined today by my co-host here, Curtis Phillips, Mr. Philly Picks, missing our other co-host, J.R. Anderson, as he is on a work trip down in ATL, handling some business on the work side of things. But he's still got his picks in, and we're still going to be discussing things, including his aspect on the show today. Curtis, what's going on, my man? How are you, dude? How you doing today?
Doing good, Roman. Pretty ugly day today, but I'm ready to dive into today's slate, man. I'm doing good.
Yeah, it's a pretty gloomy, ugly day out there here in Louisville. We've obviously got some bad weather, getting dark early, cold. That's how it is this time of year a little bit. It'll be 50 degrees here in 2 days, and it'll be 20 degrees after that. That's how it works. But that's not going to stop us from having some fun here on the airwaves and, of course, having some fun tonight, punching these tickets, making some money. Philly, I want to ask you, I mean, this slate is filthy today. We don't have hardly anything good compared to what we had yesterday. We had NBA Cup on. It was just a couple games on tonight, but there's not a big drawing interest to the slate that we've got tonight. So we're going to have to lean on the text line, lean in on the chat as well today, get their picks in, get their comments in, just have a bit of more of a discussion-based kind of day because I don't think there's going to be all that many punches we're going to be having to discuss. Granted, we'll still find some ways to have some fun. I do think, bold statement to start the day. I think all ACC teams in college basketball cover tonight. We can kind of start right there, Philly. Before we get into last night's picks and what we had, we do have 3 basketball games on tonight in college basketball from the ACC side. Notre Dame hosting Idaho. NC State hosting Liberty, and Boston College hosting UMass. NC State, Notre Dame, both 12.5-point favorites. Boston College, 1.5-point favorite. We've got 2 games in the NBA tonight. I mean, we might have an NHL tonight, Philly. What are we looking at? Or this naturally, is there any one singular game that sparks your interest for the slate of anything tonight?
Yeah, like you said, it's not the best slate tonight. I'm looking more so in the NBA tonight. I do have a bet that's going on right now in that little Yale game. In the Ivy League. But yeah, overall, it's an ugly slate. I'm targeting more of the NBA today. I know we still only have 2 games. But yeah, just not in love with the college basketball slate, although I do have a punch in the college basketball realm tonight. Haven't got to my NHL dig. Maybe during this segment, I'll try to get, a play out for y'all. I know I got one out yesterday on the YouTube segment. I didn't get it out for you guys on the radio, unfortunately. But yeah, overall, yeah, more so looking into the NBA slate tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited to my Lakers are in action, hosting the Spurs. No Wembanyama, I don't think we'll be seeing tonight. There's been some reports that he was trying to get back by this Wednesday matchup. I haven't seen any reports that he's going to be playing tonight yet. So it's seeming like he's still going to be out. I've already given out one Big X Big Bet in the Run In with Roman show, Philly. I want to get your opinion on. I'm looking at the Spurs point guard tonight, De'Aaron Fox. His line sitting at 23.5 points. We teased it down to 22.5 for our Big X Big Bet of the day. Going up against the Lakers team that, let's just keep it, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. We are not the best perimeter defensive team. We kind of struggle to stay in front of guards. We're not the best at preventing skilled guards from getting to the rim. Granted, we defend the 3 pretty well, I feel like. But ultimately the fast guards with the ball handling ability and the downhill ability we've struggled with. And I think that's kind of probably going to continue tonight. I don't see that stopping. I like Fox on the 22.5 points. I'll go ahead and make that my first official punch here on the Ticket Puncher Show as well for tonight, Philly. What are you looking into this Lakers matchup? Because I want to get specific here in the next few minutes about tonight's picks and tonight's games. And then we got to chat about this this NFL slate on Sunday. There's too many important games that are kind of not necessarily pick-ems, but toss-ups in terms of how you may feel about these teams. And we're going to discuss that a bit. But let's get into the NBA tonight specific. We've got the Lakers. We've got the Spurs. The other matchup is the Phoenix Suns going to Oklahoma City to play the Thunder. Where were you naturally being led? Was it player prop led? Was it team prop kind of a thing tonight? Or were you looking at some totals?
Yeah, definitely player props for me. And since you just dropped that De'Aaron Fox bet, I'll go ahead. I'm right there with you. So I was originally going to be on his points, but, I added the assists, just because I like the hit rate just a little bit more. But, yeah, I'm also on De'Aaron Fox. I took his points and assists over 28.5. It was sitting at minus 120. But I do love the points, Roman. He's hit that in 4 straight versus the Lakers. And like you said, Lakers not the best. But not the best team versus, dominant guards that can score the ball, that can assist. That's ultimately why I went with the assists. He's averaging around 31 points and assists his, last 10 games. And
his last 10 games, he's only not covered this twice. Granted, once in his last performance against the Pelicans, he only had 14 points. And then against Denver, end of November, he had 15 points. He's had 25 plus in every other game in his last 10.
That's why I love it. And I like that you just mentioned, yes, he just had 14 points in his last game, which makes me like even more. I think he has a bounce back game today. I think he was waiting on this game, an actual NBA Cup game where, he can, put his all in on the road versus a very good Lakers teams. Your stars shine on the NBA Cup day.
And we just mentioned in his last 10 games, covering this in 8 of 10 of those, only having less than 25 points in 2 of those, Philly, I love the bounce back spots on those star high usage kind of players. He just had 14 points. Books got him at plus 126 to score 25 points tonight. I mean, he scored that against better defenses already this season. He scored 25 against the Cavaliers. He scored 31 against the Magic. 29 against Orlando, 25 against the Timberwolves, 15 against Denver, which that makes sense, 37 against Portland, that makes sense, 26 against Phoenix of the Suns team. That's been one of the most underrated defensive teams this season. I like him for 25 plus on a plus money jab. If you want to maybe take a ladder tonight, you take him at 20, you take his line at 22.5, you take his set line at the 22, 23.5, whatever that may be, and then you also take that 25 plus. I see him getting to that 25 plus tonight. I think he is in that 27, 28 range just because of how long he'll be on the floor. I also believe Stephon Castle is still out. Can you correct me on that, Philly, if you know?
So I know he did play the last game versus the Pels. Give me 1 second. I
thought they had him back out for this one. Okay, no, it looks like he's going to be playing for this one. Victor Wembanyama officially out for this one with a couple of game time decisions as well on their injury report for tonight. So Stephon Castle will be back in this. I thought they were going to maybe rest him after playing him again last game, but I like that. Yeah, I don't like when they try to rest young guys on a little small injury. When he's good to go, throw him out there, and that's what they're doing tonight.
Yeah.
And they need him. They need his defensive ability going up against a Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves led team. I say led, meaning they're the ones that have the ball in their hands most. Unless one of them is out or having a bad game, that's when you see LeBron kind of step up like he did in that last game that we had on, what was that, Sunday versus the 76ers when he looked like old Bron, looked like himself.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he looks like he did on Sunday against the 76ers just because that got close game there at the end. We kind of had to claw back a little bit as well. I think that we're going to lean heavy on Luka and Austin tonight. But with that being said, I mean, I think LeBron can get to that 20 mark. It's at -2. It's at plus 120 right now. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game, though, if I'm being honest. No Wemby, a couple other injuries for the depth for the Spurs. I don't think they're going to be on their tip-top defensive shape, so that's maybe just another plus money spot. But the official is going to be De'Aaron Fox. Philly, talk to me on the Thunder Phoenix game. Was there something we maybe liked in this one player prop wise? If not, I mean, we can probably figure out who's going to cover and what this over under will look like. If not, but I think there's a couple different lines in this game that were maybe enticing player prop wise. Did you see anything you liked?
Yeah, I actually took Mark Williams over 18.5 points and rebounds. I believe this jumped up to 20.5. I took this around 1:00 p.m. And yeah, this has jumped up about 2 whole points here. But I mean, I love that spot. He's hit that in 7 of his last 8 games. He's averaging around 23 points and rebounds on the road. And then he just played OKC not too long ago. He had, I believe, 13 points and 14 rebounds in that game. And that was only in 22 minutes. I expect a little uptick in minutes, this game. Especially, I like this bet without Isaiah Hartenstein. I feel like the Thunder are sort of a better defensive team without Hartenstein. But with just Chet down there, I feel like you can target centers versus Chet. He can block shots, but I think he still needs to kind of get in the weight room a little bit. So, yeah, I think Mark Williams can easily get to 19 points and rebounds. And I know I don't usually take sides, and I probably won't, but I do lean the Suns to cover. I know Thunder blow everyone out. I get it, but
you're believing in the NBA Cup vibe tonight, huh?
I think I'm believing in it, man. And this Suns team has actually really, really surprised me. I thought they was going to be bottom tier in the West, like bottom 4,
And when they started going through this Booker injury, I thought that you would see a massive drop-off.
Yeah.
They're weird. In the last few years, when key players go down, the Suns actually play harder when the role guys come in.
Yeah, and Dylan Brooks, he surprised me, man. That guy's been hooping in his new fit. And, I mean, these teams just played. I believe the Suns only lost by, like, 4, I want to say. I don't know if you can correct me on that, Roman.
Let me check here.
Yeah, they lost by 4 the 28th of November. So, I mean, Thunder blow everyone out. So the fact that Suns could have kept it close, and that was in OKC as well. I think they can stay within that 14.5. I know it's a little that's a little scary with how Thunder has been blowing everyone out, but with the Cup game, I
think that was a Cup game
they'll be up for this
on November 27th, in which they played, and the Thunder were tested by that Suns team. Granted, Devin Booker played in that game. He did have 21 points, but he was not the leading scorer in this game. It was Colin Gillespie, who he's my pick for most improved player. I think he's going to win most improved. If you pay attention to the numbers and you watch what he's been doing for that team this year, I get there's a couple other candidates, but I really, really like the way that he's kind of had that dog factor in a player that I kind of questioned that in him coming in a bit, if he was going to be able to kind of sustain that aspect of his game in the NBA. And he's added to it and built on it and made that even more of what he does. He plays hard, kind of annoying, kind of a bit of a pest, but makes the right play, good shooter, has actually some kind of crazy range. And they've just kind of let him go out there and do what he wants because he's making better decisions more times than not. What's the line at? 9.5?
14.5.
14. Now moved to 15 here on FanDuel that I'm seeing.
Oh, wow.
I like that, actually. I don't know where I got 8.5 from. I was seeing 8.5 in my head when you said that. 15 probably gets to 15.5 before game time. I would jump on that. And here's what I would do. I wouldn't say sprinkle. Go half unit potential wager on that spread. But I would wait to see what happens live. Because if OKC gets off to a crazy good start in this game, sitting at 15.5-point favorites, maybe they jump off to an 8-0 deficit to start the 8-0 lead to start the game. That line's going to skyrocket to 23.5, 24.5. I would jump on that live line at like 24, 25. The way that the Suns have ability to just come back into games or not get fully out of it once they go down, I like that in an NBA Cup game where they're out there trying to make a little bit extra money. Not mad at these picks at all. I got one more player prop official punch, though, that I'm dropping for this game. And it's going to be my second official punch for the night, my other player prop punch, and that will be J-Dub on his points tonight, Philly. His line is sitting at 19.5. I like it teased down to 18.5. 29 minutes played, 11 points against this Phoenix team, was only 3 for 12 from the field, has pretty much played much better. That was his first game of the season, I believe. Has been much better every game since then, more efficient, taking more shots, taking better shots, getting to the free throw line as well. So I think he gets over that 18.5 mark. If you want to play the 20+ for better juice, I just like to kind of go under what Vegas is thinking on my player prop lines, because we take them as 2 legs sometimes. I'm going to parlay these. Jalen Williams, 18.5. De'Aaron Fox at 22.5 for my 2 officials. Philly, any player props that you were looking at that you wanted to add before we move on?
Yeah, I got one more. Sorry, in that Lakers Spurs game, that late one, real quick. It's Austin Reeves under 4.5 assists at -112. I mean, it's a small sample size, but in the 6 games with the big 3, Reeves, LeBron, and Luka, he's went under in every single game. We see Luka ball dominant, and Reeves he likes to score. I feel like. With both of those guys on the floor. So he's not really dominated up. That's more so when LeBron or Luka's, off the floor. So, yeah. Reeves under 4.5 assists would be another player.
In particular, when one of those 2 guys doesn't play, Reeves is a off-ball scorer or on-ball passer, playmaker, lead guard kind of a guy, just because that's what they need. It's really, especially when LeBron doesn't play. When Luka's out, though, he is our only playmaking guard that you can rely on for the entirety of a game, due to LeBron having dealt with that injury at the beginning of the season. I love this line. I love it. Under 4.5, meaning he doesn't get to that 5th. Going up against the Spurs team where he will have to be a scorer tonight. I'm on that one with you, Philly. I'll be telling you on that official punch for you as well tonight. I want to chat NFL. We've got Thursday Night Football on tomorrow, and then we've got some NFL games this Sunday that I want to get your opinions on. But before we do that, let's hit our triple punch piece. We'll start with you, Curtis. Where are you at with their triple punch for tonight? Let us know. I know no team total tonight is seeming like, so maybe you've got one hidden that I just haven't gotten to hear about yet. But what's your triple punch parlay piece going to be? We got hooked yesterday on your OG Anunoby, unfortunately, at 13.5. We hit the Desmond Bain 20+. We hit Jamie Jaquez Jr. at 9.5. That was JR's pick. Mine was the Bain 20+. Philly, unfortunately. I mean, OG had the moments, too. He could have got to the free throw line a couple
he had
times.
10 at halftime, so.
He passing up wide open looks. I didn't understand that. They obviously get to a lead, so you kind of understand that they're just not being as aggressive. But 10 points at halftime, you need to be finishing that game with 17 points. The fact that you're finishing with 13 on the dot, it makes me. That's the kind of thing with sports betting in particular. Those player prop lines. How does it look? You had 7 in the first quarter. Cool. You only got 1 bucket and a free throw in the second. You're 4 points away from your line. You did more than you projected to do in the first half, and it ends exactly where Vegas had it. It's just weird. It's just weird how that happens pretty consistently. But what do you like tonight on your triple punch piece, Philly?
Yeah, triple punch. I will go Purdue -11.5 in the first half. That's at -118. And this can kind of go into my analysis on my Purdue -19.5 full game official punch bet. Basically, I think it's a great buy low spot for Purdue versus Minnesota. Minnesota coming off a dramatic upset over Indiana. Purdue coming off a huge loss to Iowa State, which is a really good team. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, Minnesota, they're 1-6 against the spread. Their last 7 games, they've struggled on the road as well. They've got blown out by Mizzou on the road and lost to Santa Clara by 9. So Purdue's definitely gonna be mad and up for this one. I think they get off to a very hot start and they'll be up by at least 12 at halftime.
You know me.
I know you don't like Purdue.
I'm Purdue hater number 1 this year.
I already know.
Granted, I do think they win this game. The line dropping from 19 to 20 kind of is interesting, though, because I was on Minnesota plus 20.5. I do think Purdue gets to a lead and never wavers and wins this game comfortably. Now, do they win by 21 points? I wasn't certain of that earlier today. That line now moving to 19.5 kind of makes me feel like I was on the right path of that thinking. A lot of people, maybe not a lot, but some money coming in for Minnesota, obviously. I think that this Minnesota team, they've already gotten a big win. They beat that. Was it Indiana?
Indiana, yep.
That they beat, yep. obviously Indiana and Purdue are not anywhere near the same tier. Something tells me Minnesota can keep it close, but with a team like that that's lost, trying to bounce back in Purdue, I'm probably going to stay away from that big spread there like that. I'll rock with you on that first half, Philly. Obviously, I say rock with you. I take every day, every triple punch. I have faith in my guys and their picks. I like that. I don't know if I didn't know if I was going to go college basketball, if I was going to go NBA for my triple punch. I was kind of leaning Lakers, but I don't like to give a team I'm a fan of out on a triple punch piece. I'll occasionally give a Lakers prop out. We've hit our one Lakers spread that we gave out this season because it is truly, if it comes from a basketball opinion. Tonight, though, I think we're going to rock with the college basketball. I'm going to go into the ACC. I think that NC State should bounce back. I know this is a Liberty team that has been able to score a good amount of points this season. That offense does look good. They've got one of the most electric scorers in college basketball. I forget his name, but this kid's averaging like 19 points per game, 5 assists, 5 steals, or 5 rebounds, shooting like 50% from three. A 6-3 NC State team that's not been as good as we would have wanted them to, losing to that Auburn team in that ACC SEC Men's Challenge. But I think they bounce back, Philly. I think that they need a big win. They need to continue winning. This isn't a big game, but losing to Liberty would be a bad look. They beat the UNC Asheville team by only 12. They didn't shoot all that great in that game. They did defend pretty well, controlled the complete second half in that one. I think they bounce back, though, and get a dominant performance like they've been kind of wanting over their last few games and haven't gotten to get it. Give me NC State minus 12.5 on their spread tonight against Liberty. And we've got JR's pick as well, Philly. You want to go ahead and read that one out for the listeners?
Yeah, so I guess right before we got on the air, JR sent us his piece. He's actually on Mark Williams as well. I know I dropped the official punch at 18.5. He saw it at 20.5. So Mark Williams over 20.5 points and rebounds. He got this at minus 101. That'll be his parlay piece.
So we've got Mark Williams rebounds and points and rebounds. For JR, for Curtis, we've got Purdue first half spread at minus 11. And then we've got my NC State full game spread at minus 12.5. That will be the Ticket Punchers triple punch parlay of the day. Book it December 10th. Mark it in. We have a couple days without having hit one now, and it's time to get back on track where we hit these triple punch parlays multiple days within the week like we're used to, like we did last week. And let's do it again. Let's get it back on track here tonight. Philly, we don't have a lot of time before we get out tonight. We've already given our official punches out. We've given out the triple punch parlay. We're excited about that. We're going to get that in as well. I want to ask you about some of these football games we've got this weekend because I think the NFL slate, this is one of the best. Week 15 we've got this week. I think it's one of the best weeks yet, if I'm being honest, in terms of if it's not a game that's going to be important, it's probably going to be still a good football game. When you look at Bills, Patriots, Ravens, Bengals, Chargers, Chiefs, you've also got Colts, Seahawks with Phillip Rivers getting announced as the starter for this game and going to be playing Colts plus 770 on the money line. I saw earlier today, Phillip Rivers yards sitting at 152.5. You've got a good Packers team going up against a dominant defensive Broncos team. All kinds of good games. Panthers, Saints, divisional game in that one. Lions, Rams, playoff connotations on that one as well. And then a Vikings-Cowboys game on Sunday night that I think they projected to be a lot better than it is, but oh well. What's the best game you think on the NFL slate this Sunday for the sake of watching? And then where do you think the most money, where do you think the best betting game is going to be?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think it may be in the same game for that question. I believe it'll be the Lions and Rams. This should be a crazy, huge. I mean, this total is sitting at 55.5. If it closes at that line, I believe that'll be the highest total on the board for this whole entire season. So
yes,
that should be a really good game. Lots of playoff implications in that game as well. So yeah.
Rams need a win. Lions need a win.
Yeah, the NFC playoffs is shaking up pretty crazy right now. You got about 8 or 9 teams that are like seriously in the hunt with 7+ wins, and then like you said with that the Colts game with Phillip Rivers coming back, that should be interesting. I mean, honestly, I'm rooting for Phillip Rivers, but that might be a rude awakening going against that Seahawks defense. I feel like there's going to be a few sacks in that game, and it's just going to take him a while to get comfortable in that. And then who was that I was seeing? Oh yeah, the Bills and Patriots game. Obviously, we saw that at the time. It was a huge upset with the Patriots beating the Bills, like the 4th, 5th game of the season, and that kind of, you know, it brung out something in that Patriots team. And now you see them on a 10-game win streak. They're at home right now. I'm surprised they're slight underdogs. I'm still not a huge believer in that Bills team, if I'm being honest. So I would lean to taking that Patriots money line, especially the way the Bills just won that last game versus the Bengals was kind of crazy. I feel like they've been up and down all season, so I'm not mad at fading them after wins. So those are a few games that's on my list to watch and betting this Sunday.
I think that in terms of watching, I think it's going to be Bengals Ravens, and here's why. I think you saw a Ravens team that did not look how they wanted to look, did not look how they were used to looking in that last performance against the Bengals, that 32-14 loss in Baltimore, where, Lamar lost 2 fumbles, Zay Flowers lost a fumble, Isaiah Likely lost a fumble. They lost 4 fumbles, and Lamar threw an interception, and he still had 246 yards passing. He had 27 yards rushing. It was also a game they didn't run the ball in the second half for whatever reason. I get you're down, but they didn't give the ball to Derrick Henry as well. I think they bounced back. I know that they're not really playing. These two teams not really playing for all that much at this point in the season, maybe in terms of the Ravens, but I still think that this one looks a lot better. The line's sitting at 52.5. I think is also kind of an indicator that the Ravens are going to be putting up a lot more points than they did in that game, because outside of that Ravens game, the Bengals have been allowing crazy points in every game that they've had in their last 6. 39 to the Bengals, 26 to the Patriots, 34 to the Steelers, 47 to the Bears, 39 to the Jets and lost, 31 to the Steelers and they won, 27 to the Packers, 37 to the Lions. I think that Lamar, D. Henry, and those boys get back right in this game offensively. I don't know how much it matters, but I think this is going to be an exciting one for the sake of watching. Now, in terms of betting, I'm with you. I think the money that you're going to be able to make in that Lions-Rams game should be good. Now, for the opposite reasons, though, like low line on this one, they don't think there's going to be a lot happening in this game because of the defenses with the Packers and Broncos. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think those two teams are going to kind of over game plan for each other a bit, and you'll see some exciting play there. But we are about a minute over here, so we've gone. This is going to wrap us up on the Ticket Punchers. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll get those punches out for you on the X, but we'll be back tomorrow, 5:36, right here on 96.1 FM, 1450 AM, Big X Sports Radio. Philly, let's go punch those tickets.
Punch them.
All right, and to our listeners here, it looks like we've got 4 or 5 listening on the Big X Sports Radio YouTube page, and then a couple more on the Real Spiel Podcast page as well. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in, listening to us here on the Ticket Punchers. Philly, I don't think we have anything really much more we want to add. We've got our official punches out. We've got our triple punch parlay piece out. We're going to get those to you guys out on X, and we'll get back to you tomorrow. A lot more punches tomorrow, as we'll have a Thursday night football game on and more changing and shifting odds in the NFL. Probably going to get some Sunday official punches out as well. But, Philly, unless there's anything you want to add, this is going to wrap us up.
I think that's it. I know yesterday I dropped the NHL bet out on the YouTube segment. And I did a little bit digging while we was on the
your Stars hit. You had the Stars money line yesterday.
Yeah, that got a little sweaty. They got off to a 3-0 lead, was looking great, and Jets like they had like twice as many shot attempts as the Stars. They just wasn't getting them to fall. But they ended up cutting it to 1 at the end. So yeah, it did get a little bit sweaty. But I think I'm gonna take the Panthers tonight, going against the Utah, Mammoth have 6 straight losses as underdogs. You know, Panthers. That's been my team since I first started wagering on hockey. So I think I'm gonna take the Panthers as slight favorites
I
tonight
like it.
to get the
I'll,
road
I'll
win.
go ahead. I'll go ahead and take another team on the road. I think the line on this team, the odds. I mean, I'm not going to say that I've been watching hockey games heavily, but I have been paying attention the last 3 weeks to teams that are starting to go on those win streaks and lose streaks a bit. And I like the Kings tonight on the road. I know that they're not the best road team. 10-2-4 on the road this season versus 14-8-7 at home. Obviously, you expect them to be better at home, but oh wait, I forgot to refresh this.
Kraken on a losing streak as well. 6 straight losses.
Sorry about that. I had to check something here on the computer.
Oh, you good.
But yeah, the Kings, I was saying there, just got sidetracked. I mean, the Kraken just have not been what people thought they were going to be. Not impressing as much as you would want. Kings on a 2-game win streak right now. I think they continue that on this road trip that they're on, going up against the Kraken. So I like that. Sitting at -148 right now. Opened up at -142, so it hasn't shifted all that much. But give me the Kings tonight. Pair that up with the Panthers on the 2-leg. I like that.
Yeah, let's do that. Oh yeah, I'll tell that Kings. Put it with the Panthers. Sure.
I love it. I love it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Nothing in on the chat, it looks like. So we'll get back to you guys tomorrow. But Philly, let's go punch those tickets.